At this point, this is a tradition on my channel. I come back usually very close to Christmas. I don't know which day this is coming up, but I think it's coming up on the Swedish Christmas, which is Christmas Eve. This is when we're celebrating Christmas. So Merry Christmas if you're celebrating Christmas. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We are gonna do something that's gonna make me have a less wonderful day today. This is a punishment, y'all. I am gonna do a full face of the worst makeup of 2025. So I'm not gonna have a great day. I did this I did this planning a while ago, like what am I gonna film on all of these different days, because I have been uploading every day since Black Friday up until Christmas. So this is gonna be the last video before Christmas on my main channel, and tomorrow we're gonna have a video on my book channel, but I will actually have a few videos in between Christmas and New Year's as well. But when I was doing this schedule, I was being so smart. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna film this video on a Saturday and I don't have to go anywhere. And then this morning I woke up and my husband was like, are you filming today? And I said yes. He's like, oh, remember, we're heading out afterwards, we're hanging out with our friends. And I was like, great.
I'm in danger.
So I was actually thinking I was gonna do the Airbrush Flawless Foundation by Charlotte Tilbury, but I hate this one so much that this day does not, you don't deserve to get this day. No, we're not doing that. So instead I'm gonna do the e.l.f. Halo Glow Tint. This one, the secret to this one is use very little. This one says, if I'm not totally mistaken, 5 drops. No. So we are gonna do one. Ooh, this is more than I need. I might not need that much. But yeah, we're doing very, very little. Because this one, I might be fine. This one is very heavy. And that's the reason why I don't like this. The Charlotte Tilbury one is heavy too. But at least this one, if you use very, very little, it won't look too heavy on the skin. And like you can get away with it. And like I said, I am heading out today. We are meeting up with some of our friends. We're actually apparently going to a hockey game today. I don't know when I thought that was happening, but I clearly did not think it was today. So we are going to be wearing this one. If you don't use as much as e.l.f. says you're going to use, it looks pretty decent. On me, this looks incredibly heavy and very like cakey if I use too much. If I use so much that I actually get the SPF that they're promising on the packaging, it looks like I'm wearing a clay mask. Like, that's not the look I'm going for. So we are gonna do this very, very light coverage skin tint. Did this provide any SPF whatsoever? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Apparently, my husband wrote me today. It's so funny. He writes me. He was in bed and he was writing me on Messenger, and he was like, because he was still in bed, and he was like, remember, I was up working. I've been up early work. I have not slept in since like October. So I was up working and he wrote me and he's like, remember, there's a clear bag policy today. And I was like, say less, because this will be the perfect opportunity for me to use the cinch bag, the cinch evocative clear bag. I'm gonna be able to use that one from my own brand, and I can wear that to like the hockey game today. I'm so excited. Hockey is actually the only sport I like in real life, like to actually like going to a game. I actually really enjoy hockey. I grew up in a hockey town. I'm gonna wear the concealer that was just in front of me. This is the Hourglass concealer. I didn't really have a least favorite concealer of today, and maybe that's for the better, because here's the thing. I'm gonna give this my darndest. Okay, this is gonna be the good college try. I am gonna make this makeup work for me, and even though I am wearing a full face of makeup that I quite honestly don't enjoy, I am gonna basically work my damnedest hardest to make this work for me so I can wear this when we are going out and about. And this concealer is like helping. But yeah, what I will say with a foundation, if it's a foundation you don't like, try to mix it together with something that works against the thing you don't like. If it's too glowy, maybe a primer that will help, maybe setting it with powder. This one that's too heavy, use very little, and instead of getting the coverage that they are promising, you just be okay with less coverage, because some things, when you use way less than they say you're gonna use, you do get something that you can work with. Some things you don't, like this one. I've really tried. I don't know what Charlotte Tilbury put in that foundation, but whatever it is, it's not good, okay? That is just a crime against humanity. I absolutely hated that. foundation. So I really did not want to wear that today because it's cakey and heavy. It never dries down. It's super greasy. And if you try to blot your face throughout the day, the entire foundation comes off. It is an absolute mess. Okay. I think this looks good from afar. No, actually it looks pretty decent. I mean, it doesn't have enough coverage, but I mean, that's fine. Let me actually zoom in and we can do the contour. I mean, this is way too dark for me right now as well because I definitely do not have a tan right now. How will I make this work? I'm on a mission. I will make this work. By the way, I'm sorry if the sound was really weird in that first segment, but I apparently had the settings on my microphone incorrect, so hopefully that was able to be salvageable. That is so much darker than I am right now because there is no tan going on here. So I'm gonna do something that I never do on the back of my hand. And on a Cinch F03, I am just gonna try and see if I can use this very sparingly. This is why I don't like this one, because I feel like it goes on like patchy and it doesn't really, I mean, yes, this is not the right color for me. Like, I am fully aware, but I still don't like how it goes on. There's something about this one, I think it clings. Okay. I've seen so many people really love this one. Some people have like really defended this one, and I am so happy that this works for you. I wish this worked for me. I'm gonna use this very sparingly. As you can see, I'm using very little because again, this is not my shade. But again, you can really make something work if you just shear it out on the back of your hand first and just dab it in. I mean, this is definitely doable. It's not great, but it's doable. I do also have another bronzer that I mentioned as my least favorite of the year. I will link the video down below if you want to hear about the other products, which was the Polite Society Cabana thing. But the thing with this one is that I keep smelling it. Is that it's like it's foul. It's gone bad, and I am not putting makeup that smells like a sewer on my face. Like, I was gonna say I have some dignity. Let's not open that door. Okay, let me do the Dior stick. Again, I saw a lot of people really loving this one, but I think this one is too sticky, too creamy. And also, it smells like mint, which I don't know why we're doing a mint. I don't know why we're doing a mint on our like cream stick, but it smells like mint. Again, fine, innovative, good for you, but it's very, very sticky. So I'm gonna do very little because again, I am heading out and about. Since I'm going to hockey, is it gonna be warm in there? Because sometimes in Sweden when you go to hockey, like the actual hockey place can be a little cold and you want to wear like a hat inside. I don't know if the US has the same. I have a sneaking suspicion that they won't, which is crazy though because it's always cold indoors in the US. So I mean, technically I guess it should be there as well. The thing with this stick is that it doesn't dry down, but now I used very, very little. So maybe I'll be okay if I just use very little. But if I use as much as I want to get the color that I'm looking for, it just is, it's stick city. It's like fly paper makeup. But if I use very little like this, maybe I can get away with it. Again, because I am doing my darndest to make this makeup work for me today, okay? I need you to be nice to me because I don't want to look like a crazy person. Again, let's not open that door. Maybe that ship has sailed. I want it to be as good as possible. It's still sticky, but I think maybe I can get away with it when I'm wearing this lil. Maybe this can work out for me. Okay, powder. This is where I feel like it might go south. Because this is the Fenty Bright Powder. I have it in Banana, which again is my... This is not my winter shade. As you can tell, a lot of this makeup I bought during the summer, and it was a great shade for me during the summer. It's not my shade now. I feel like this powder is too heavy looking to be an under eye powder. And it also, I don't feel, really prevents creasing under my eyes. Plus, I also don't think it prevents oils seeping through in my T-zone. So this powder just really isn't for me, but I'll use it today and we'll just hope that things don't go entirely south. At least it's like not super warm in Austin today, so maybe I'll be fine. But yeah, I'll just use very little and we'll hope that since I'm wearing at least a very good a very good concealer, that things won't go south. But yeah, I know from before that this is not the powder to keep any of my oils at bay, and if I try to set down the concealer properly, it will crease and look a little heavy. But maybe we'll be fine. Maybe we'll be fine. Who knows? I mean, right now, this is looking pretty okay. It really is. Is it my favorite makeup products that I've used, like, even this week? No. But it's looking okay. I'm gonna be using my favorite brow pencil, which is Strawburn. And then we're gonna go in with the Holy Strokes, the brow pen from e.l.f. that I really did not like. Well, we're gonna attempt. We're gonna give it a good college try, and I'll show you why that one is a no-go for me. This is the point where I usually start going in with a pen that has send help, that has like a brush tip like this, so I can draw in some hairs and make my brows look longer than they are, because my brows start here and I want them to start here. So what I do is that I take the tip, I'm trying to like do it in a way that you can see something, and I'll start down and so this is where the disappointment begins. And I try to flick up, and well, this is why that one is in the worst makeup of the year, because I can't do anything with that. So let me do this one instead. This one is good. This is from NYX. I have Auburn and Ash Brown. Let me show you what I actually do, because clearly that one is just not functioning. So I draw in hairs like this. So this is the Auburn one. I usually do this with 2 colors to make it look somewhat believable, even though, I mean, you can never make it as believable. But I just draw in some hairs, and then I draw in a couple in here as well. This is before brow gel, by the way. So these pens are not meant to be filling in your entire brows with. It's meant to be doing some like hairs. So it's something like this, and then I go in with the other color, the darker one, and I just do a couple for dimension, and you can see the difference. This is when my brow is longer, and this is when my brow is not. And again, I just do a couple more just for, I was gonna say shits and giggles, but I don't even mean that, but like for definition. And yeah, this is the brow once it is done, and I think there's a big difference. I think it looks really good, but clearly with that e.l.f. bullshit, you can't do anything. Okay, so I already got, you can see, I got a little creasing. Love this, love this. I love a powder that does nothing. Who doesn't love that? So my biggest trick for making my skin look more flawless when I'm using a very sheer coverage, or sometimes only using a concealer, powder, and no foundation, is using some kind of a freckle pen, and I will fill in my beauty spots and make them more visible, and somehow that kind of makes the rest of my face, it makes everything look more seamless. I don't know what it is, optical illusion, but if I fill in some of the small imperfections and make them more visible, it kind of makes everything else just look more smooth. I don't know what it is. It's like a magic trick, but I'm a big fan. I really like how it looks. I'm a big fan. Big fan, always been. I have this one. This is, This is where everything goes south. Okay, so this is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Spray. You see that? It looks like something from OnlyFans. Yeah, that's what you're gonna have on your face. Oh my god, it's so like just drippy. I'm about to ruin everything. Okay. I'm so far away that I'm like, what it, now I look like something from OnlyFans. Why? Like, look at that. What?
I'm in danger.
Okay, well, that was disappointing. Pointless. Absolutely not. The packaging of that one is just awful. I just don't get it. Okay, I am going to be using the lip pencil that isn't a lip pencil. This is like the Emperor's New Close-Up lip pencils. This is the Merit one. It's just so shiny. It's like a shiny lipstick. You know what? I'm gonna use this on my entire lips. Like, you don't get to tell me that that's not a freaking lip balm. This is like capitalism in its finest. It's like the cost per gram for this lip balm that they're selling as a lip liner. Are you kidding me? On me, this one bleeds. If it doesn't bleed on you, good for you. I'm so happy for you. On me, this bleeds. So, I'm just gonna use this as an all-over lipstick. And also to show you like how glossy that is. I don't like it at all. And I don't like it at all. There are great lip pencils out there where you can use a little, get a little bit more of a sheer result. I just think that this is, I just think it's weird. Like, that's a glossy like lipstick balm. Okay. Sure. You know what? Sure. I am going to be using, so the bottom position when I did my ranking all the eyeshadow palettes that I tried this year was actually the Glamlight and Coca-Cola palette. But I actually really don't want to wear those at all. I don't think that's the good Glamlight formula. I didn't enjoy that at all. So instead, I wanted to try the Morphe palettes again, because the position that I have next was the colorful palettes from Morphe, and instead I am going to be wearing the neutral palette. This one is a little bit higher on top, and I do think, and maybe this is what I can say about this, if you are looking at the Morphe eyeshadows, if you're like, oh, I really want to try the Morphe eyeshadows, the neutral ones are way better than the colorful ones. If you want to buy colorful shadows and you want to save some money and you want to buy something more affordable, just don't get the Morphe ones. I quite honestly don't think that they are good. You can get so much better in the same price range than those. That's just what I'm gonna say about that. I do have already my palette ranking up, where I am ranking all the eyeshadow palettes that I tried this year. And I will say the Morphe ones, they do so many things really good. And I've tried some really great Morphe products this year. I just will say you don't need to try the eyeshadows. You can do much better. But if that is all you have available to you, or if you think the packaging looks so cute, you really want to try it, I will say the neutral ones are way better. I'm actually going to be matching it with one of the Sueva Velvet Love. Because again, I think I'm going to use this pinky one. I kind of want to have that on today. So that's what I will say about that. Just maybe go with the neutral instead. When it comes to eyeshadow, if you have an eyeshadow that you're like, why is this one not working the way that I want to? Do this trick that I'm doing right now, which is starting with the dark first. Because the first shadow that you put on your primer, I never set my primer. I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but I never set my primer. The first shadow that you put on your primer is going to be the one that is the closest to how it looks in the pan. So if you're like, I want more intensity, or why is the shadows not looking pigmented enough, start with the shadow that you actually want to be visible in the look. And for me today, it is this dark brown. I want it to be really visible. So I'm kind of like almost setting the primer with this shadow right here. Just making a little bit of a blob out there. And then I'm going to go in with the lighter shade, which is this like more minky, like taupey color. It's got a little bit of a pink undertone. And then I'm going in with that after and blending it out. But then I already have the intensity of the dark shade. And that's also, I see sometimes people start with like a pastel shadow in the crease and then they put something on top and they're like, I can't believe the pigmentation is so bad. I'm like, you just put down a white-based pastel as your first shade. Whatever you put on top is gonna mix with all of those white pigments. Maybe this is also a reminder that if you have something that is not inspiring you or something that you're just not as excited by, let me see if I can bring out a flat brush. Mixing it with something else can bring new life to it. Mixing two neutral palettes with each other where neither of them is bringing me very much joy on their own is making them more fun together. So I'm gonna see, I'm always spritzing a little bit. I use the darker shade and I'm gonna use the lighter pink in a bit just to get as little fallout as possible. Let me actually pick up a little bit more. So yeah, don't forget to mix things together, especially if you have things where you're like, ugh, this is not that exciting. Together with something else, they can be exciting together. And also, I was kind of feeling something more neutral today. Simply because, I don't know, I was feeling something neutral today. I don't know. Sue me, I'm in my neutral era. Not a super inspiring color story or eye look, but it's something. It's something. I'm gonna use there's like a bone white in the Morphe palette. Let's use that as an inner corner highlight and just to brighten this up a bit. Oh, I forgot that this one has a little shimmer to it. It's like a little bit of a satin, which makes it not as forgiving as some of the ones that are actually like a fully matte, but that's just a personal preference though. Still looks pretty cute. Let me see if I can do actually a white in my waterline. I do love these though. Again, mixing things you don't like with things you do like can make them be good together. This one is from Tarte. This is a very like bright white. I'm thinking maybe we'll even do a little bit in the inner corner, just to really accentuate like the contrast of it all. It's actually looking really cute. Maybe I'll do a little bit with if I can find the EOS 7, I clean that off, and I'll do a little bit of the dark matte, and we'll pop it as like a little bit of a liner. It will make it be a little bit more defined out here. I do this with this brush a lot to just help out a little bit with drama and definition. Not bad. Not bad. Am I gonna use falsies today? I might put some falsies on actually. I might do that. I did actually bring out these as well, the Makeup Revolution lipsticks, but I really, really dislike those as well. And I mean, I could take it off before I head out, but yeah, I don't like those at all. They're so goopy and like, bleh, don't like it. I think that it's still a little tacky, but I guess like using a minimal amount is the trick to this blush. But this, it's not looking too shabby. I don't like the lips, but I mean, I could change that before I go out and maybe powder my under eyes a little bit more. But hey, I made this work. Snaps for me. Well, I think this looks fine. I've had this on now for a little bit because I wanted to see how it settles. My under eyes are looking a little rough still. The eyeshadow is fine. I like it. The cheeks, they're just a little tacky. I think this might be the way to go with, because okay. When everybody's leaving blush blindness behind us, I'm like running full force in. I've been so into super visible blush, and I think this is just one of those blushes that it doesn't fully dry down, so I can't put on as much as I want to. This is not enough blush for me. I would like more blush, but now that I touch it, it's just got a little tack to it. It's not like my hair is gonna stick to it, so it's not. Don't like a lip. I think this is too shiny to be a lip liner, and it comes off when I touch it. Not a favorite, okay? Not a favorite, but still, you can work with stuff that you don't like. I'm doing these videos basically to give some of these products a second chance, but also to remind us that, I mean, I can declutter these things because I have options in my collection that I like more than these. For me, there's no point in keeping things I don't like for the sake of keeping it. But maybe you bought it and you're not able to return it. I hope that maybe me using things that I don't love in new ways maybe can inspire you to get some use out of products that you might have ended up with even though you don't love them. Because sometimes we end up doing like just not great purchases when it comes to makeup, and not all of us are able or have the opportunity to return things that does not work out for us. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down below if you have any products in 2025 that you really did not like, and whether or not you're keeping it or getting rid of it. I would love to hear about it. And yeah, tomorrow's gonna be the last day of Vlogmas, and that's gonna be on my second channel, my book channel, but I will still have, I think, 2 more videos on this channel before the end of the year, and then come January, que sera sera. I have no idea. We'll see what happens, but I hope you have a great day. I hope you had a great Christmas, and I will see you very soon in a new